Chris Crack might be the only rapper whose song titles make you laugh first and rewind the track later just to see what he called it. But behind the absurd humor lies one of the most prolific and quietly brilliant catalogs in modern hip-hop. Let's talk about it. What's going on, y'all? It's your man Lighthouse, and you're now tuned into another episode of Everything Ain't For Everybody. And today we'll be discussing Chris Crack's Too Late to Start Following the Rules Now album. Chris Crack operates in a lane that few rappers even attempt to drive in. Most artists build their connection with listeners through familiar entry points. You hear their voice, their story, their pain, their triumph, and you decide whether their perspective aligns with your own. But Chris Crack flips that entire process on its head. With him, the relationship often begins with the song title. You scroll through a Chris Crack track list and immediately react. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you squint your eyes at the screen, and sometimes you simply say, "Word." His titles read like miniature essays, surreal tweets, or punchlines waiting for the setup. Yet the real trick is that the song rarely unfolds the way the title suggests. When the beat drops and Chris begins rapping, you find yourself pausing the record mid-play just to double back and confirm what the song was actually called. Hold on, this joint is hard. Let me see what he called this joint. That's what happens to me. Like, I listen to it, I'm like, I like to listen to it straight through, and then when I hear it, I'm like, this beat is crazy. What he's saying is insane. What's the name of this shit? And it'd be something incredibly funny or like noteworthy to just be like, grab your attention. Tuning into any installment of the Chris Crack Show means stepping into a world where the beats bounce between warm soul loops and Memphis-style trunk rattlers. The narrator is a 30-something Chicago native who can reference Jodeci, Yeezy slides, quick morning romances, and philosophical reflections with equal ease. And hovering above it all are the titles. Ridiculous, brilliant titles that double as short stories in themselves. For instance, Dollar Tree Charger changed my social security number, or the song Caught a DUI in my side bitch car, or even funnier, deleted your city off my weather app. That's fucking hilarious. Yo, no one fucks with him in terms of song titles. When it comes to song titles, no one can fuck with Chris Crack, yo. Listen to this guy. He can rap, he got dope beats, but his song titles are fucking hilarious, right? It's absurdity with intention, and that's what I appreciate the most. Since 2018, Crack has been operating with a work ethic that borders on athletic endurance. Over 24 full-length projects in under a decade, 24 albums, not mixtapes or throwaways, but fully realized releases packed with personality, humor, and razor-sharp rhymes. The result is a discography that feels serialized, almost like a Chicago-based hip-hop cousin to the television show Atlanta, where each project adds another strange and insightful chapter. His latest release, Too Late to Start Following the Rules Now, arrives as something of a refined edition of that blueprint. It's the second project with Fool's Gold Records following 2021's Might Delete Later, but this time the surrounding cast is larger and more decorated. The production roster reads like a collector's shelf of experimental rap craftsmanship. Madlib and Hudson Mohawke help steer the sonic palette, while fellow rap technicians like Bruiser Wolf, Sir Michael Rax, and Chicago legend Shawnna step in for guest appearances. Yet even with this lineup, Chris Crack remains the gravitational center of this project. His imagination is the engine that keeps the entire machine moving. Crack himself has often compared his writing style to stand-up comedy, and the comparison holds up under scrutiny. His verses feel like the intersection of Devin the Dude's laid-back storytelling and Kool Keith's surreal absurdism. His nasal growl slides effortlessly between wisdom, street observation, sexual misadventures, and pop culture references, sometimes within the same 4 bars. On this song, Gotta Say Shut Up Before Skipping a YouTube video, he opens with the unforgettable line, "I'm off shrooms on a bowling date." Immediately, the listener understands the rules of engagement have been suspended. What follows feels like a stream of consciousness broadcast from a mind operating 3 thoughts ahead of the beat. Tour stories, punchlines, and outrageous bows colliding in rapid succession. But Crack isn't only operating in humor. Beneath the joke sits a surprising amount of autobiography. Tracks like My Brother Knew the Real Angelo Roberts reveal glimpses of vulnerability, complicated family relationships, teenage encounters with older women, the decision to leave college behind in favor of street survival. He delivers these confessions with such casual confidence that emotional weight sometimes arrives a few listens later. later, sneaking past the bravado that initially frames them. That tension between comedy and confession is what gives Chris Crack's catalog its staying power. Musically, he moves with the flexibility of someone completely comfortable inside his own creative universe. He can glide over that new wave bounce like on the song What I'ma Do With All These Frequent Flyer Miles, then flip the cadence into inverse triplet flows over the 3-6 Mafia-inspired rhythm of scissoring should be called lip syncing. Wordplay appears where you least expect it, rhyming per se with versace. While narrative sketches play out in real time as he takes calls from one woman while sitting beside another on the song Dope Boys Don't Wait Till Summer, it's chaotic but never sloppy. If Too Late to Start Following the Rules Now teaches any lesson, it's a philosophical one. The only rules worth following are the ones flexible enough to bend. Chris Crack understands that freedom better than most rappers working today. His albums feel like free thought captured on wax. Sharp, funny, occasionally revealing, and always unmistakably his. And in a genre often obsessed with image control, that kind of creative looseness feels refreshingly honest. But that's my time, y'all. Thank you for watching another episode of Everything for Everybody. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay in the loop. Let me know what you think about this Chris Crack project, man. He's hilarious and very serious, but this is definitely an album worth listening and checking out. Let me know what you guys think, you know. Also, we're on Spotify. We're on all of the streaming platforms where you listen to podcasts. So check us out there. You know, you can watch this episode and then you can go and listen to the actual album that I'm talking about, which is dope. You know what I mean? But until next time, take care of yourself. Peace, and we out.